Hari Om, Bhagavad Gita, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, chapter 18, verse 16. In the last verse, Bhagwan Krishna said, actions can be carried out only through body, mind, and speech. Only these three ways actions can be carried out. It can be either in terms of dharma or against dharma. There is willing because of our will, we can do in tune with the dharma or against the dharma. But in all actions, whichever way we are performing, body, mind, and speech, the five factors, that is body, ego, organs of perception, organs of action, mind, buddhi, that is the third one, prana, and daivam. These five factors will be present. In the words of Swami Chinmayananda, the five factors work on three platforms. These five factors work on three platforms. Verse 16 now. Tatraivam sadikartaram atmanam kevalam tuyaham pashyatya krida buddhitvan nasa pashyadi durmadihim. When this is so, when actions are carried out by body, mind, and speech using these five factors, and this is the cause for karma, Durmati, the one who sees the self as agent of action, is a Durmati. Why? Because his mind does not see things clearly as they are, but sees everything in a distorted manner. Swami Dayananda Saraswati quotes Adi Shankara here, who says that the mind sees things wrongly and subjects itself to birth and death as a result of karmas and karma palas. Swami Dayananda Saraswati says, if you see external things wrongly, there is no problem, there is no great harm in it. But if you see yourself wrongly, it is a big problem, because in that case everything else gets distorted. Self is kevala, that is, it is pure, it performs no action whatsoever. That is what Bhagavan says, tatraivam sadikartaram atmanam kevalam tuyaha, that is, self is pure, it performs no action, it does not undergo any change, but all activities, whatever it is, whatever you do, it takes place in its presence. If one sees the self as doer, it is a complete distortion and he is a Durmati. What is the cause for this distortion? The simple answer is, his mind is not matured or trained well. He is an Akrtabuddhi. Pashyatya Akrtabuddhitvan. Akrtabuddhi. His mind is not a purified mind. Adi Shankara says, the mind has not undergone proper teaching of Vedanta Shastra through a teacher in a proper way. When you study Vedanta Shastra, if there is a doubt, then that doubt must be cleared with the help of a teacher. For the correct knowledge to take place, the doubt must be subjected to proper enquiry by way of reasoning. That is vichara. You must inquire. And you cannot come to your own conclusion, because each one can come to his own conclusion. You must consult a good teacher. Automatically, if the student is ready, teacher will automatically come. That is the law. So naturally you must undergo training You must undergo and clarify your doubts with the teacher. Then that is not enough. You must inquire. You must, by way of reasoning, you must understand it. Adi Shankara says it is a matter of knowing and not a matter of belief. It is not that immediately you believe. Arjuna is going on questioning Bhagwan Krishna. Bhagwan himself. Matter of reasoning. He wants to understand everything. He is under a proper training by Bhagwan Krishna. If this process is not complete, he will see the self as an agent. That is the problem with Arjuna, with all of us. Adi Shankara says, even a Astika, is not a Nastika, but Astika, may be a great scholar in Vedanta Shastra, who believes in the survival of the soul and after death. He believes in the survival of soul, next Janma, and knows that Atma is independent of the body. That also he knows. Even though he has this knowledge, he still looks upon Atma as an agent. That is the problem. He believes in the Shastra, but does not recognize that the nature of Atma is pure and totally free from all actions. His mind will be considered as immature and he is an Akrtabuddhi. Hence he is a Durmati. He neither sees the truth of Atma or Karma. The five factors, again, I don't want to repeat, but still I will repeat it because it has to be put in the brain in such a manner that even if I am disturbed from my sleep and ask what are the five factors that are involved in karma, then immediately I should be able to say. I should not say I am 1 minute, sir, I will refer the book. That is why I am again and again repeating. What are the five factors? Body, ego, organs of perception, organs of action, mind and intellect. That is the third one. Entire thing put together. Prana and Deva. All these account for all karmas. Even though all actions are carried out in the presence of Atma, without that electricity, how the fridge will function? Without Atma's presence, how our body will function? Nothing can function. So even though all actions are carried out in the presence of Atma, he does not see the truth that Atma is not involved in any action. Adi Shankara says, even though he sees, he does not see correctly. Adi Shankara gives the example of a person who has a cataract. He sees two moons when in reality there is one. You tell him 100 times there is only one moon. He will say, no, I am seeing two moons. That is the reality. He will say. Similarly, we also see the moon moving in the sky or the sun appearing in the east. They don't move. But in reality, only the clouds are moving. When the moon is moving, the clouds are moving. When the sun is rising in the east, it is not moving. It is only the appearance. It is not real. Things are not seen as they really are. In the same way, even though all actions take place in the presence of Atma, Atma is not involved in any action. This is very important. Even though all actions take place in the presence of Atma, Atma is not involved in any action. But a Durmati, because of Akrtabuddhi, sees Atma as an agent for all actions. Swami Chinmayananda says, we have already seen that actions belong to realm of matter. But all actions are carried out in the presence of self. That also we do. However, due to failure to discriminate between the equipments of action and the actionless self, the doer, that is the egocentric personality, jumps when there is success and gets completely depressed when there is a failure. Once a person appreciates the inner mechanism and its play, his ego will end and all actions become the myth of mind or a midday dream. Tatra evam sati. That is, tatraivam sati kartaram. Tatra evam sati. This being the case, that is, all actions, whether good or bad, which are undertaken by the body, speech, and mind, they all belong to the matter. Self is actionless, self is akarta. This is the case. In spite of this fact, self identifies itself with body, mind, and intellect and becomes the ego. The self itself becomes a limited individuality, ego. It behaves as though it is an individual personality, oblivious to its ever pure state of perfection. It forgets itself that I am the infinite. It forgets. The Atma forgets. It forgets its pure state of perfection. It gets conditioned by the desires of the intellect. So many desires. Because of this, actionless self comes to suffer the success and failures of life. The, the pure self, because it becomes attached with the desires of the intellect, it treats itself as an individualized ego and suffers the success and failures of life. The self, the Atman, which is subtle and imperceptible, is not recognized because of the vasanas that color the intellect. Therefore, Bhagwan Krishna says, the Supreme Self, Kevalam Atmanam, the pure Self, the purest of pure, the Supreme Self, Kevalam Atmanam, is misunderstood to be a doer, that is Kartaram, due to the ego. Its divinity is forgotten and the individual suffers the pangs and perils of life. The cause for this misunderstanding is Akrtabuddhi, that is, not understanding properly by reasoning. Hinduism never says you believe everything. Question it. Get your answers from your guru. You yourself sit and analyze. Then reason it yourself. That understanding is necessary. So, because of Akrita Buddhi means because not understanding properly by reasoning, and Durmati, that is perverted mind. The cause for misunderstanding is not analyzing it, understanding it with proper reasoning, and because of the perverted mind. Due to these small adjustments, one is unable to recognize his own divinity. Swami Chinmayananda says, the implication of this statement here is, if a seeker can integrate himself through the process of reasoning faculty and guiding his mind away from his intellectual perversities, that individual will come to experience within himself that it is only the fivefold components of matter that are indulging in actions and not the self. So the final thing, the crux of this verse is, self is ever pure. It is not involved in any action. Only the matter equipments are involved in the action in the presence of self. Otherwise, matter equipments are dead and gone. They cannot function on it on their own. But self, because of its attachment with the body, because of the desires cloud the intellect, the self assumes itself to be an ego and becomes an individuality. That is the point here. That is what I understand. Verse 16. Tatraivam sadi kartaram atmanam kevalam tuyagam pasyatyakruta buddhitvan nasa pasyati durmadihi. Next verse we will see tomorrow. Harihom Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Narayana Narayana नारायण 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 नारायण